welcome to the video. My name is Christy and I am a GOGOKID teacher. Now, if you haven't heard the news, GOGOKID has brought back the $300 new teacher incentive for the months of March and April 2021. But it's now even better than ever with two different options for qualification. So let's jump in and go over all of the requirements for earning this $300 new teacher incentive. Now, like I said, there are two different options now for being able to qualify for this new teacher incentive. Option number one is very much like the previous offering of this incentive. There are three requirements in order to qualify for the incentive under option number one. Requirement number one is that the new teacher must successfully complete 3 as-scheduled classes within the first 30 days from the date the teacher signed their teaching agreement. As scheduled simply means that the teacher shows up, the student shows up, and you complete the class as scheduled. Requirement number two is that the new teacher must open at least 75 peak time slots within their first 30 days from the signing of the teacher agreement, and these slots must be opened at least 48 hours in advance of class start time and must be left open until they either expire or are booked. So let's break this requirement down a little bit. So first of all, the 75 slots must be peak time slots. Please be aware that GOGOKID has 4 peak time slots per day. These slots are in Beijing time, 7, 7:30, 8, and 8:30 p.m. Now, when you look at your teaching schedule in your GOGOKID Teachers portal, you will notice that there are slots outside of these 4 times that have a fire icon. Please understand, the fire icon is not representative of peak time slots. The fire icon simply means that those slots have a higher than average booking rate, but not every slot with a fire icon is a peak slot. Only those 4 slots listed are considered peak time slots. Next, the slots need to be open a minimum of 48 hours in advance of class start time, and then they have to be left open until they are either booked by a student or they expire on their own. Now, normally, a teacher can go in and close any unbooked slot that they would like, and you still have the ability to do that. It's just important to realize that if you go in and you close an unbooked slot, that slot that you choose to close will not count towards the 75 slots opening requirement. Only slots that are left completely alone and are able to either be booked or expire on their own will count towards this requirement. And requirement number 3 is that the teacher does not experience any negative issues within the first 30 days from the signing of their teacher agreement. Now, what is a negative issue? Well, these include teacher no-shows, any of the 3 types of teacher cancellations, a teacher IT, a parent review of 1 to 3 stars, or a valid user complaint. Receiving any of these negative issues will result in disqualification from this new teacher incentive. Now, there is also a second option in order to qualify for this new teacher incentive, and it's even easier and better than ever. The updated requirements for option 2 are as follows. There is only one prerequisite for being eligible for completing the bonus via option number 2. And that prerequisite is that the teacher needs to have completed a minimum of 100 as-scheduled classes teaching Chinese students on another platform prior to joining GOGOKID. Now, that prerequisite does need to be verified, and the way that that is verified is by filling out a sign-up form and uploading a screenshot or some sort of documentation to verify that the teacher has completed a minimum of 100 classes prior to joining GOGOKID. Now, if the teacher meets that prerequisite, there are only 2 requirements to earn the $300 new teacher incentive via option number 2. The first requirement is that the teacher must complete a minimum of 20 as scheduled classes within their first 30 days from the signing of their teaching agreement. Now, these classes can be at any time, peak or non-peak times. They just need to complete a minimum of 20 as scheduled classes. And requirement number 2 is that the teacher does not experience any negative issues within that first 30 days from the signing of their teacher agreement. Under option number 2, there is no requirement for a set number of peak time slots that must be opened. Now, any teacher who wants to pursue the new teacher incentive via option number 2 fills out the sign-up form, submits their documentation, but fails to complete 20 as scheduled classes, they are still eligible for earning the incentive via option number 1, provided they meet all of the option number 1 requirements. It's also important to be aware that should you choose to pursue option number 2, you need to know that the document review process by home office will end at 7 p.m. on April 30th, Beijing time. So it's very, very important that you fill out that sign-up form and you submit your documentation well in advance of this deadline, at least a couple of days, I would suggest, in order to give home office adequate time to review your submission prior to that cutoff. Now, please keep in mind that aside from this amazing $300 new teacher incentive, there are lots of other perks to joining GOGOKID this spring. If you join during March, they have a phenomenal new teacher swag pack that you can earn simply by completing some new teacher missions. Also, our booking rates are at an all-time high, so teachers, even new teachers, are booking classes very, very quickly. There's lots of other great offerings, workshops, videos, all sorts of things that are available to teachers. So there you have it. Everything you need to know about GOGOKID's March, April 2021 $300 new teacher incentive. Don't wait. Get qualified today. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye y'all.